Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to report about one of the world Englishes, which is the Indians. Firstly, who are the Indian people? India is located in South Asia. It is the second most crowded nation and seventh biggest nation by land. India has a 17.50% total populace all over the planet. Indian culture is a mixture of different societies which ranges over the Indian subcontinent, and it is the origin of some religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. So, how was English introduced in India? English was introduced to the Indians in the mid 1600s by the East India Company. East India Company is an English company formed for the exploitation of trade with East and Southeast Asia and India. During its first steps of the colonization of the British Empire, they made a principle for the province. They used the neighborhood heads as the translator between them and the locals due to language barrier. Then, the British Empire had an idea. They wanted to teach the locals how to speak English because they think that it would benefit the state. So, there was a debate about English being taught at schools. The participants in this argument are the Orientalists and the Utilitarian, which is also called the Anglicans. The Orientalists were led by Dr. Wilson and Henry Toby Prinsep, an English official of the Indian Civil Service. They protested that some local dialects like Sanskrit, Arabic, and Persian should be kept as the primary dialects in training of English for the locals. But the utilitarians or Anglicans wanted to advance English as the primary language for the locals. They stated that English would be beneficiary for the locals because everyone would gain something from it and interpreters will be unnecessary. Christian evangelists joined in and opposed the organization for making English as the primary language. Christian evangelists are the ones who commit or act public preaching. The ministers also played a big role in the improvement of English trainings in India. The English Education Act of 1835 controlled the East Indian Company to relocate the establishes that they were putting resources into Muslim or Hindu-based training to advance Western educational plan with English as the language to use. The empire presented English as one of the dialects of India, not just simply as the language of colonizers. As we can see at the chart below, the development of instruction with expansion of quantity of English schools and the improvement of education rates are going up in the following years. Let's talk about Indian vocabulary. India is a multilingual country with more than one power language. It is the second most populated country. So, it is one of the factors that shows that Indians have 22 power lingos. But there are lingos that are not registered in the power lingos because of its decreasing speakers. English is not the official language of India because it is in the 44th spot in the dialects of the nation. There is a plan of eliminating English, but the language has survived and remained as an official one in the nation. Then, it gave benefits to the Indian people in the long run. In the 2001 evaluation, 226,449 individuals speaks English as a local language, but that digit is just 0.22% of the population in India. The significance of English in the nation is verifiable because through this language they can arrive to advanced education, science, and many more things. There are many recognized dialects of English in India, like Malayali English, Maharashtrian English, Punjabi English, and many more. I tried to research about these dialects, but nothing came up. In India, they believe that they can identify the individual's social and semantic foundation on how that individual speak English. Here are some examples of Indian vocabulary. Academics. Academics means academic pursuits in contrast to technical or practical work. Cinema hall, a noun. It means a cinema or movie theater. Do the needful. This means to do which is necessary or required, with the respectful implication that the other party is trusted to understand what needs doing without being given detailed instructions. English knowing. Adjective. It is used to describe a person or group of people that uses or speaks English. Friendship, or it is known as scholarship. Hotel means a restaurant or a cafe. Matrimonial, a noun. This means an advertisement in a newspaper for the purpose of finding a marriageable partner. Press person, a noun frequently used as a single word. It means a newspaper journalist, a reporter, or a member of the press. Redressal means redress. Upgradation means the enhancement or upgrading of status, value, or level of something. Revert, it is a verb. To report back with the information. Chain snatching, also a verb, which means to repeatedly pickpocket and escape. Prepone means to bring something forward to an earlier date or time. Let's tackle about Indian pronunciation. Indian English can be easily identified by most English speakers. Indian English has a syllabic musicality. Syllabic musicality is a syllabic chosen pattern of words you consciously place in your writing. Most Indian speakers speaks almost the same to the British or American English. A retroflex consonant is a coronal consonant where the tongue has a flat, concave, or even curled shape and is articulated between the alveolar ridge and the hard palate. Rhoticity is the pronunciation of the historical rhotic consonant R in all contexts by speakers of certain varieties of English. In non-rhotic varieties, speakers no longer pronounce R in post-vocalic environments, that is, when it is immediately after a vowel and not followed by another vowel.
Main phonetic features of Indian English. Alveolar retroflex stops of T and D as th and d. Although in educated speakers, it is replaced by alveolar plosives like in British and American English. Rhoticity after vowels. Although the educated new generations tend to avoid the phenomenon. No distinction between long and short vowels. Not clear distinction between U and O. Drop but slip. A vowel split in which the phoneme A was lengthened and merged with the long A. Drop of ed ending after K and T. Voiceless plosives P, T, and K are unaspirated in initial word position. V and W merge that are pronounced interchangeably regardless of the spelling. Although not in the Punjabi, Marathi, Assamese, and Bengali varieties. TH, stop or lack of interdentals. Is announced as think T and D as in words like this, D. Use of dark L for all realizations of the phoneme L. Replacement of two adjacent vowels by a single long vowel followed by R sound. Pronunciation of vowels usually drop in other standard varieties of English in words, such as with typically in which all vowels are pronounced. Grammar. The huge number of direct exchanges of punctuation highlights from local dialects and the manner in which English is impacted by them. The language and grammar of Indian English varies from that of other standard English structures. Some distinctive highlights of Indian English are the utilization of the articles, prepositions, modals, tense, and aspect. Articles. One interesting feature to have into account is the seemingly arbitrary use of the definite and indefinite articles in Indian English on numerous occasions. The indefinite article a is replaced by one, so that a sentence like, "And a lovely white bear was sleeping there," would be said by Indian English speakers with the number one, and one lovely white bear was sleeping there. Prepositions. When studying Indian English, is the use of prepositions, as we can see in "She said she would neither resign nor bow down to their demands," or "The next course commenced from Monday, 8 January. In some cases, Indian English speakers use certain prepositions when in other standard English they would be wrong, like "discuss about" or "pay attention on." In other stances, they would omit the preposition when they are indispensable in other standard English varieties, or include them when they would be omitted.
Sumana says, Indian English have a different usages with regards to modals. Examples are the use of will and would, the use of may instead of should, ought to or must. Tense and aspects. Indian's languages use tenses are more flexible that of what are inherent to the English language. Some deviations we may find are the following: violation of sequence of tenses, use of the past perfect and the present perfect for the simple past, use of the past perfect for the present perfect progressive, use of the simple present for the present perfect progressive, use of the progressive with verbs of perception and state. The use of present continuous is something common in Hindi. That is why one of the features of Indian English is the overuse of the present continuous with stative verbs. Example of this is I am wanting a cup of coffee. With this said, it differs in the varieties of English, whereas in English, it is used to express action, not states. It can also be noticed in the past continuous statements like she was having many saris, then she had many saris. Another feature of Indian English is the use of present or past perfect instead of the simple past tense. Some Indian English speakers use past perfect, which differs from the English speakers for the use present perfect. The reason of this is that Indian English purpose is to put an emphasis on what is done in the past than what is relevant to the present. Indian speakers also make use of present simple rather than present perfect progressive. Sumana Bandyopadhyay states that Indian tense system, an act of continuing at the time of speaking, even if it began at a certain time in the past belongs to the present. Therefore, this is assumed as present progressive Indian speakers.
One of the most mentioned features of Indian English is the formation of questions without inverting the subject and the auxiliary verbs. As we can see in Why Are You Leaving, speakers of Indian English do not apply the subject auxiliary inversion rule when making WH questions. This also applies to direct yes or no questions, which we generally find with the order of declarative sentences to you are ready. Also, with reference to questions, it is important to highlight that the use of the tag isn't it, as universal is a prominent feature of Indian English, regardless of person, tense, or auxiliary verb, as in, you have spoken to your father, isn't it?